Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome, everybody. My name is Mike Fulsame. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Groove Digital. I'm joined today by Joe Jablonski, also a partner here in the company and our affiliate relations manager, along with Paul Mahoney, who is recently connected with, and he's partners with a very, very dear friend of mine named Chris Farrell. If you folks remember, it was 10 years ago yesterday, Chris Farrell and I shot the launch videos for our product that we did together, affiliate.com. So we're dealing with people that we have previously partnered with before. So just remember for the format, man, these Fridays come along real quick. First, I apologize for a little bit of the echo here. As many of you know, if you were on last night's stream, I was in Sarasota, immediately got done, packed up the laptop, put it into the car, drove 3 hours, got in at around 1 a.m. And I'm trying to set up my my office over here, but right now I'm running it out of a laptop in a room where it's a little echoey. So forgive me, but I won't be doing the presentation, so you won't have to bear with the echo a little bit too much longer. As you know, we pride ourselves in training here at Groove Digital by providing training Monday through Friday that comes to you from Groove Digital. People like myself, John Cornetta, Matt Seralta, John Garcia, Tom Beal, Donna Fox, etc., and Joe Jablonski and Eric. And on Fridays, we do Groove Digital Presents. Every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern, if we have a guest that holds up to the litmus test, we bring on industry experts that have expertise in areas that we don't, or that do it certainly better than we do. And what they do is they come on for a minimum of 1 hour to 90 minutes, promising to give you teachable, actionable things that you can apply either in your business or in your life. Certain things are not always about business. We might be bringing people on for personal development, health and wellness, things that we feel can benefit entrepreneurs. And this week, it is Paul Mahoney, and I'm going to be reading a bio from him in just a minute. Just a reminder, the way Groove Digital presents, we do a quid pro quo with our experts. We ask the experts if they can come in front of our exciting audience every single week, and what they get to do is give you some good content, and if you like, stick around at the end. If you like the content, then they tell you how you can continue to work further with them. So if that sounds cool to you and you can hear me loud and clear, do me a favor, put a 1 in the chat followed by where you're coming from, so that Paul can see where we have you folks from all around the world. So now we're just about ready to turn it over to Paul. Now Paul has a very impressive bio. We were talking earlier, and I said, Paul, this is a lot. And he said, Mike, I actually have a bio, and it's going to be a little bit easier for me to read this. So I'm going to read this, and then right after that, I'm going to turn it over to Paul, and we're going to jump right in. So Paul, just want to make sure you're there, loud and clear. So let's hear you before I turn it over to you, so that everybody can hear you. So, all right, if you heard Paul loud and clear, give us a 1. Okay, very good. Thank you, everybody. All right. Last bit of homework, stuff for you, not homework, housekeeping. Folks, remember we're doing a Groove Digital Presents on, not Groove Digital Presents, State of the Groovian on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Find that in the Facebook group. We're giving you an update on the software Groove Mail, all that type of stuff. So without further ado, Paul Mahoney is an entrepreneur, 4 times best-selling author, and a Guinness World Record holding public speaker, specializing in digital marketing, mindset, and wealth management. He's made tens of millions of dollars over the past decade online. Not many people, I could say, have done that extraordinary feat. His Rethink brand focuses on empowering people to rethink and create extraordinary lives, with a special focus on children and teens, young entrepreneurs. Paul has had a burning ambition to help children and teens learn the skills they need to succeed in life, which are not taught at schools. So much so that he went and got qualified as a financial advisor before launching a training program specifically for children and teens, which we're so excited for him to share with you folks today. So Paul helps children and teens gain incredible insights on money, entrepreneurship, well-being, and giving back through his company, a foundation called Financial. And I'm going to just pause just on that just for a minute. I really love that paragraph about giving incredible insights on money and entrepreneurship. As Paul said, this stuff isn't taught in schools. I was very, very fortunate to have a father that was an entrepreneur, an immigrant, as they say in Hamilton. They get the job done. My father worked his way up from an immigrant to owning a car dealership and would wake me up every day at 11 o'clock to teach me life lessons. So I'm really excited about what Paul's got here for us today. So back to the bio. So far, Paul and his foundation and his company have reached almost 100,000 teens with his brand, and he's excited to share this with you today. So what better time, of course, in the current environment for your children and teens to get started learning the skills that not only will be life-changing knowledge, but which are fun to learn too. So everybody, please welcome to the mic, Paul Mahoney. Paul, I'm going to turn it over to you. I'm going to hit mute and I'll be on the background. It's your show. Take it away, buddy.
Hey everybody. Hi. Thank you so much, Mike. Really appreciate you reading my bio so well. I love that. I'm very honored and privileged to be here today and to share what I have to say has been a pet project of mine for the past 6 years with myself and my co-founder, Chris Farrell. I'm very excited to share with you guys. So if you could just type into the chat, one, if you can hear and see me okay, everybody, and we can just get jumping in right away. Okay, fantastic, fantastic. So today we're going to be talking about a topic that is definitely a little bit different to what you will be hearing on other presentations with Groove Presents. And just so you know, I come from a very similar setup to Mike in that I teach digital marketing to entrepreneurs, etc., and do those things. However, this is a separate business, separate company, and as Mike said, we have a separate foundation focusing specifically on children and teens. And what I want to share with you today, believe it or not, has an incredible opportunity with using the tools within Groove also, as you'll see as we move through this. So this is specifically for parents, teachers, anybody that's interested in children in their lives or interested in having an amazing product to promote with all of the incredible tools that you have within the Groove kit. So as I go through this, please feel free to type in comments, type in questions as you go, and I'm actually going to be sharing with you real videos that we use to teach children and teens right now that I'm sure, especially if you have kids in your life right now, that this is going to allow you to breathe a huge sigh of relief today, because this is a huge gap that people have no idea about. And what I'm going to be sharing with you today is the 4-step system that any child or teen can learn to become, number 1, super smart about money, number 2, able to earn their own pocket money within days so you don't have to pay it for them, number 3, become a genius at saving and growing their money, and number 4, helping others do the same. A huge component of what we talk about is that money is not just about what you can get, but what you can give and give back to those less fortunate and less well off around the world. And by the way, we have a free gift for you guys just by being here today. At the end of the presentation, Joe and his team will get out a free playbook for you, which you will know what this is as we proceed through this training and why this is so cool and such a great gift. And it's just a thank you for you for being here today and expressing an interest in this topic, which is so crucial today in 2020, possibly more than ever right now in 2020, that we learn this topic, we embrace this topic, and help the next generation to break away from the mistakes that many of us made in this generation through our financial setup. Simply put, guys, and I'm going to start with the bad news. Let's get the bad news out of the way early. The system is broken. The system that we're working within is broken. It doesn't make any sense that we go to college to get into debt, to get further into debt each year that we go through, to then graduate as a 22-year-old, and for our parents to say, right, you know what, it's time you showed some responsibility now. It's time you grew up and bought yourself a house, or in other words, a mortgage, which comes from the Latin word mortir, of course, meaning to die. Mortgage literally means getting debt until death. Obviously, if you're selling mortgages, it's much better to use the Latin version of debt until death. But it is really strange that this is the plan. This is the success plan that we have for our kids and our teens is, hey, go to college, get into debt, get yourself a college loan. The only loan you can never declare bankruptcy on is a college loan, a student loan, and then get yourself into more debt permanently. Because, hey, that's what everybody else is doing. The problem is, even though we're all in the same boat, the boat, unfortunately, is the Titanic. The vast majority of society are in debt. Our 5-year-olds are better off financially than our 25-year-olds, but very few people stop to rethink the system and say, what the hell is going on here? Why am I doing this? And why am I doing it at speed when it doesn't seem to be working? You know, we've heard the saying before, if you continue to do what you always did, you'll continue to get what you always got. So let's look at why the system may be broken. You've probably seen this before from Robert Kiyosaki, from Rich Dad, Poor Dad. At age 65 in the US, 91% of people are either dead or dead broke. 1% make it to be in the rich category, 4% only are considered comfortable, 5% are still working in a job, 56% of people require government or family support, and 34% unfortunately didn't make it to age 65. This, for me, is society's report card. This is the report card on our education, the A, the B, the C, the D, and the E, right? This is the true result, the true reflection on what we're learning. And it's time to turn that around, right? 53% of American households are at risk of insufficient retirement savings. 1 in 3 workers, in fact, more than 1 in 3 workers in the US have less than $1,000 saved. If their car breaks down on the way to the shop, that's their savings plan for life gone. 1 in 4 American adults don't have a single cent or a single penny saved right now. And the news gets worse because the average age expectancy is now 100 years old. If you are born today, you are expected to live till 103 years of age. In fact, if you're in your 40s or 50s today, the average person in a married couple is expected to live to 92 years of age. If you're single, I think it's 107, something like that. Right? But why is this important to understand? Because the old system of learning from age 0 to age 20 to get letters after your name, to get qualifications, to then work from age 20 to 65, and to set aside 2% or 3% a year in a pension to pay for your last 15 years, clearly will not work anymore. Now, this isn't a populist topic. This isn't the kind of thing that makes you really popular with your friends, you know, because it's uncomfortable. And when people get uncomfortable about topics, they generally tend to move off them and go somewhere else. But that's why I congratulate you on listening to this, because unless you're aware of how big the problem is, it's highly unlikely you'll change the path that you're on. And we got to change the path that we're on if we want to get to a new destination. Every single person here tonight, today, this morning, I'm sure wants to be successful financially. So we have to, first of all, appreciate that there is a major problem. The system that we're learning, the schooling that we go through is not designed for the age that we live in today. And that's a pun on the word age. The fact that we'll also be living into our hundreds on average moving forward. So what are the options for our kids and teens at the moment when we bring them through the educational system? And this is around the world. So the facts are very, very similar in the US and Europe and across the globe. The first option, and these are in no particular order, like Mike's dad, there is becoming the entrepreneur, right? Option 2 is the career, the doctor, the lawyer, the solicitor, the accountant, right? And option 3 is just getting a job, you know, a job to get by. So let's just go through these briefly to understand what the implications of each are in today's world. Well, as an entrepreneur, right, path number 1, you go through school. Usually these children end up not being the most academically minded. Some of them might drop out of college or just skip college altogether. They start up a traditional business and, of course, live happily ever after, right? That's what we'd love. Unfortunately, the reality is very different, right? 96% of traditional businesses fail, right? There's only a 4% chance of success with the business. And this includes people that have a degree in business, that have spent a lot of money from you to learn from a lecturer who's never ran a business, who's teaching you out of a textbook that's 20 years old to go and figure out how to run a business, right? 96% chance of failure. What does that mean? Bankruptcy and financial ruin in many cases. And they may also have a mortgage loaded in on top of that, a personal mortgage. So now they are really stuck. And of course, the number 1 reason for divorce for people is money issues, money scarcity. So very much driven by these choices that are made almost for us by default because we don't think for ourselves around this. The average person in the US spends $600,000 on interest on debt alone in a single year. Think about that. Think about how much money that is, right? So that's situation one. Not exactly filling you with hope, I'm sure, right now. But don't worry, I said bad news first. Option two, the career. This is the one when you ask your child or your nephew or your niece, what would you like to be when you grow up? You keep prodding and keep asking until they give one of these answers. I want to be a surgeon. I want to be a doctor. I want to basically exchange time for money, right? But we feel comfortable about this because we think, well, they're earning plenty of money for those hours that they work, okay? So they're usually the academically minded people, the A students, they graduate top or close to top of the class. They're all up for the permanent jobs. You might remember those that were all the rage about 10 years ago. Turns out they weren't that permanent. And of course, live happily ever after. What's the reality? Of course, there's a catch. Let's look at the numbers. The average fees for universities from 2018-19, I'm sharing with you here. From an average university, out-of-state fees total per year, $37,000, $430 per year. $37,000 per year to get through college, right? That's $190,000 over a 5-year period. Remember what I said about student loans, the only loans you cannot declare bankruptcy on. The average debt per year, $37,000. This massive number I'm showing you next, $1.6 trillion, is the US government's #1 asset. What is it? Outstanding student loan debt. You heard me right. I mean, you almost hope I'm making this stuff up, and I'm not, it's true. The #1 asset for the US government is outstanding student loan debt, $1.6 trillion. It is absolutely incredible that we're just constantly fueling our kids and our teens into this absolute, I don't know, I don't want to use the word scam, it's maybe a little bit too strong, but at the end of the day, people are qualifying with a qualification that isn't good enough to get by anymore. The average doctor doesn't pay back his college loan or her college loan until they're in their mid-50s, and then they've got their mortgage on top of that, right? So it's not a whole lot better either, is it? Option 3, the job, right, where you go through school, you learn a trade or a skill, you get a job to get by, you live happily ever after, you don't want the stress of a career. Well, the reality is there's no job certainty anymore. 50% of jobs will be gone in 15 years. We have 50 million unemployed in the US alone right now. We have people renting them for a lifetime, so there's no financial security, and they rely on their family and the government. So we go around in this loop of just one problem after the other passed on to the next generation. I'm sorry the news is bleak, but this is the truth. Don't blame the messenger, right? This is just the truth that people don't like to talk about. So the options of an entrepreneur, or this is a traditional type, having the career or having the job, none of them stack up if you go in blind from a financial perspective. Every one of them sets you up, more or less, if the odds are to be followed, to end up in financial debt. However, if you have financial smarts, you can make very different decisions in each of these areas that will set you up for success financially, regardless of the decisions you choose. Because we are not looking at the right report card, we're judging and connecting wealth to qualifications, letters after your name, as opposed to numbers in your bank account. And as one speaker said to me many years ago, he said, I found a much better measure of wealth than rather than letters after your name are numbers in your bank account. And he was absolutely correct. As Mark Twain says, I never let my schooling get in the way of my education. And then you add in COVID on top, as if it was needed. But in some cases, maybe it is, because 2020, the year, 2020, the words and number, we've always associated with having perfect vision. For me, 2020 is not just talking about this year, about perfect eyesight. It's talking about perfect insight, to actually seeing we are literally one flu away, most families, from financial ruin. So what are we going to do in order to embrace the opportunities that arise and look for an upside in this horrendous downside that we're seeing, so we never get caught in the same situation again, especially with the next generation? We have the rescue package, $2 trillion that our kids and teens have to pay back now. It's over 50 million job loss at this point. 6.6 million people filed for unemployment in a single week in March of this year. Just to give us perspective, the worst ever week up until then was 1982, and it was 695,000 people. So we've got 10x worse in a 38-year period. We are rapidly going backwards financially, but again, you're probably even thinking as I'm saying this, but so is everybody else, right? That's constantly our kind of are reaching out for support, but everyone else is screwed too, so it's kind of okay, right? And that's okay if you want to use it as a justification, but the problem is, it's if you live in a madhouse and you're surrounded by crazy people, nobody thinks they're crazy. We measure our sanity based on the sanity of the crazy people, right? So we got to figure out, how do we break free of this? Because it's not all bad news. Let's start entering with the good news. In the US alone, there are 1,200 millionaires made every single day. Think about that. These are the stats I want you to be thinking about. 1,200 new millionaires every single day in the US. Why? Because of the smartphone. Why? Because this is the addiction of society. Type in guilty right now if you have one of these within 12 inches of your hand right now. Type in guilty. I'd love to see this. Type in guilty. How many of you have one right now within 12 inches, right? And who are we waiting for us to call, right? It's not, we're not expecting a call from ourselves. It's always somebody else, somebody looking for your time, your focus, your energy, your attention, and your money, right? For me, this device for most people is a massive liability. It's taking money out of your account right now. It's taking time out of your life, right? When it could be an asset worth its weight in gold to you, if you learn how to use it the right way. And today, specifically, as we're going to be talking about it, when you teach your children and teens to embrace this technology and use it to actually create incredible life-changing incomes and opportunities, rather than being targeted by influencers and them comparing their lives to other people's lives and having all these mental challenges that children and teens are having nowadays, and mental stress, mental breakdowns, because they're comparing their lives to a fantasy life that somebody else has on Instagram, right? But the good news is, someone like me in the background has been thinking about this all along and thinking, somebody's got to look at this. Somebody's got to think about, how do we fix this? So both my parents were teachers, right? So I've been brought up in a family of teachers from the word go. So I was always destined to be a teacher, but I decided 10 years ago, I want to teach things that actually empower rather than things that disempower. And that's where this whole idea came from many, many years ago. So, I mean, how can our children and teens take advantage of these incredible opportunities and avoid the predestined path of financial uncertainty, which they will take by default? If you don't make the decision to avoid it, you're making the decision to actually end up in that place, unfortunately. What's the solution? The best part of all of this is it absolutely is solvable. It's education. It's not exactly what you learn in school. And the reason I got triggered about all of this a number of years ago was in my workshop where I teach adults how to grow their online businesses. One father brought his son, Salman, at 13 years of age to the workshop. And Salman was there because the babysitter canceled. And the father gave him his iPad and said, play your games and stay quiet. And I could clearly see that Salman was watching what I was doing. He was glued to the screen and he put up his hand. He said, Paul, can I share something? I said, please. He said, I just made $190. I said, how long did that take? He said, about 11 minutes. And every other person in the room was an adult. They all had the same look on their face, and their look was this: you little shit. How dare you prove to us that this stuff actually works? He said, what did you do? I did exactly what he said. And it was from that moment on that I had my aha moment, thinking, why am I spending so much time on grown-ups when kids can just do this automatically? You know yourself, if you waited until you were in your 20s to decide to learn how to walk, you would still be crawling, right? Because you'd say, oh, I tried walking once, didn't work, I found it difficult, I'm going to stick to crawling for the rest of my life, right? But as a kid, you just get on with it. You don't care about what other people think. You're not as worried about failing the first time. You just get up, you fall down, you get back up again, and you keep doing it until you succeed. We have 11-year-olds that make this work. We even had a 13-year-old, this is last October in our workshop, wait for this, he made $13,000 in 2 days. Right? So now I'm suddenly shifting to say, look at what is possible when you teach the next generation the skills that adults, most of them, aren't open to learning or are not aware of. You guys are in an incredible place in that you are aware of the power of the internet, but you just want to plug it in, I'm guessing, like I was, into something where you can get 100% behind it. So you know what? This is absolutely incredible. I'm pushing against an open door. There's not a single adult out there who doesn't want this for a child that they care about in their lives. So the 4 steps again that we're going to be going through is A, how does your child become super smart around money? B, how do they earn their own pocket money literally within just a few hours from now? How to become a genius at saving? And then how can they help other children less well off around the world to do the same? This perfectly introduces financial freedom. The company that was established back in 2014, myself and my co-founder Chris Farrell, who Mike mentioned earlier, has been working with Mike for over a decade now. I felt that there was a massive gap. I went and talked to principals in schools, I went to talk to head teachers, and I realized if I was going to be waiting for the schooling system to change, I would be an old man before anything was going to change there. So we decided, you know what, let's do this ourselves. And rather than me as a grown-up, because I would be confused as a teacher that kids don't like, I decided, you know what, we're going to make this entirely animated. It's going to be all cartoons. It's got to be fun. It's got to be connected to the values of children and teens, or they just won't even listen in the first place. So it has taken 6 years to get out there because of the amount of time to get all of the content created, for me to become a financial advisor so that every parent out there goes, okay, he's qualified. Most parents don't care if you've made tens of millions. All they want to see is that you've got some letters after your name, that you've got a certificate. So I made sure I had that. But then also, it's incredibly fun. It's like little stories. We've got our cartoon characters in there. That's me, by the way, on the left, Pom, in the green top. I look better as an animated character for sure. Pom are my initials. CF in the middle are Chris Farrell's initials, which is AKA cash flow. And we have Cam on the right, who is contribute a lot more. And they go in their ventures and their journeys where they explain and teach how money works and so much more as we're about to go in. And I'm going to share with you specific lessons that we teach them around money also. And I want to show you how you too can become involved in this if you want it for your children or teens, or if you'd actually love to promote this yourself as an ambassador. And that's why I'm mentioning this to you today, because we normally don't talk about that to let's say the general public, because they've no interest and no idea about marketing. But you guys have an incredible advantage, obviously, coming through Mike and through Groove. And I'm sharing with you there the prices. If you go to the website financialfreedom.com, you'll see the prices of the programs. $997 a year for the primary program, or $3,497 to promote it. And if you compare that against college, you just understand that you've got an absolute very, very cheap alternative to college here, where your child is going to be phenomenally wealthy by following these steps. None of this is taught at home. None of it's taught at school. So what if there was a simple and fun way to go about doing this, right? And every time I talk about it, I get so excited and so pumped, because it's now finally here. And it's not just about money. We broaden the scope to make it much more holistic. We help your children understand setting goals, setting targets, talking about setting goals for themselves, so they stop being so influenced by other people who have very different agendas to your own child or to your own team. So I want to introduce you to our LEAP model. This is the 4-step system that your children and teens can use starting immediately to master money, master savings, and master the art of how to become an entrepreneur if they wish, or at the very minimum, learning how they can actually just start making money in just literally a few days from now. So LEAP stands for this. L is for learn, E is for earn, A is for accelerate, and P is for play. Okay, L is for learn, E is for earn, A is accelerate, and P is for play. One of the first things we teach your children and teens in the members area is about the 5 levels of wealth. Now, you as an adult, you're probably going to be looking at this going, I didn't even know that. I didn't know that. And that's some of the immediate feedback we get back from most adults here. It's like, well, geez, to be honest, I'm watching this first because I haven't a clue about this stuff, and I just didn't realize how much I didn't know. So, for example, most people, well, all people on the planet can be classified in 5 specific levels, starting on the bottom of debt, then scarcity, then health, then prosperity, and then wealth. Debt, over 90% of people on the planet owe more than they own. They're in debt. Scarcity is the people who cut up their credit cards. They're proud of not having any debt. However, they live a very frugal lifestyle. Every decision they make day to day is due to lack of money, the job they're in, the car they drive, the amount of time they spend in traffic, it's not a whole lot better than being heavily in debt. Most people, in fact, over 96% of people on the planet will never get to the next level of health. It's scary to think about this, but they're the facts. We're here to bridge that gap, to actually show, first of all, that there is a gap, to show that there is a next level, there is somewhere else to go. So we teach the 4 levels, the 4 columns of wealth that they need here in terms of their education, which is the learn, the earn, the accelerate, and play, where we drip feed every single month new trainings in each of these areas. And I'm going to explain exactly what each does in a few moments to bridge this gap, but also, as I said, to have your child and teen be aware that there's a path, there's a simple map to be followed. And because we as kids had no idea, most adults have no idea there's 5 levels. Most adults have no idea what's the difference between financial scarcity, financial health, financial prosperity, financial wealth. Most adults have no idea how many billionaires there are on the planet, how many millionaires there are on the planet, you know, and the power is in numbers and power is in facts. And this is exactly what we walk your children and teens through, so they have a very clear strategy around, okay, I get it, I know how it works, let's put a plan in place and let's go do it. And most of all, let's have fun while doing it. So again, learn, earn, accelerate, and play. They're the 4 elements that we're talking about here. So let's start with learn and explain exactly what this is about. This is where we teach the specific theory about how money works, right? So they learn every single month a new thing around money. And we use icons that they'll be very familiar with, like Warren Buffett, where Warren Buffett talks about every day I sit in my office and I learn, right? That's one of his biggest parts of his days. He said, I like to go to bed smarter than I woke in the morning. His number 1 piece of advice, very simple. He says, my wealth has come from lucky genes and also learning compounding. Learning how to compound. Now, as an adult, you might think, oh yeah, I've heard that before, but I literally could only list probably a handful of adults that I've met, especially in my previous life, that actually use compounding. They might have heard of it, but actually use it and take advantage of it. Einstein describes it as the 8th wonder of the world. It still doesn't stop people from not using it. I can see I'm frozen there for a moment, so you didn't miss anything. Let me share a video with you. Actually, who would like to see a video of our heroes teaching about compounding, just to get a feel for what we're talking about here? Type in yes if you'd love to see kind of a sample video of our caricatures teaching this. Okay, cool. Lots of yeses. Let's do this here for a moment.
Hello, it's CF again here. So in this video, let's carry on talking all about compounding. And we want to introduce you in this video to 2 people. This is Dan, and this is his twin brother, Toby. Hey, Dan. Hey, Toby. And they're both 20 years old. Now, let's imagine at age 20, Dan here starts to invest $4,000 a year. And what Dan does is he puts his money in an account that pays him 10% interest a year. Now, Dan understands the power of compounding, so he does not touch the interest, but he allows it to be reinvested every year. Smart guy, Dan. And let's fast forward 20 years. So Dan is now 40, and now Dan stops funding the account, but he leaves the money in there to continue to grow at 10% a year. So far, so good. Now let's turn our attention to his brother, Toby. Let's imagine Toby doesn't even start to invest until he turns 40, the same age that his brother, Dan, has stopped. And let's, just to keep things simple, imagine Toby invests exactly the same as his brother, $4,000 a year, and his money also grows at 10% interest a year, the same as his brother. But let's imagine that Toby invests for 25 years in total, so 5 years longer than his brother. And now let's fast forward even more to when they're both 65 years old. So the big question, of course, is who has the most money? Well, get this, okay? Toby, who started saving when he was 40, and he saved for 25 years, which was longer than his brother, would now have just less than $400,000. However, are you ready for this? Dan, the brother who got started earlier, he had the earlier start, and he stopped saving before his brother even began, would have almost, you ready for this, $2.5 million for investing less money than his brother, but he got started earlier. And that's the key thing. You need to start investing as early as possible because you have time on your side. And that's one of the many things that we want to teach here in the members area at Financial. You have a massive advantage over every adult. Biggest mistake that most people make when it comes to money is they fail to take advantage of the incredible power of compounding. Compounding is so important and it's fun as soon as you understand it, and that's what we want to teach you here in Financial. So let's wrap up this video. We like to keep these videos nice and short, and let's continue looking at compounding in the next video. See you there in a second.
Okay, so that gives you a nice little insight into just an example of a short, snappy video. We make them really short, really easy to follow, and also fun, and they all lead into each other. So we teach them things like savings accounts, checkings accounts, interest rates. We teach them how the kind of interest rates you can expect in a typical bank versus online banks and how you can make more there. We teach them about cryptocurrencies and how all of that works. We talk about people that they'll know, like Richard Branson from Virgin and his story as a 16-year-old, setting up his first magazine called Student, setting up Virgin Records, and how he has more than 400 companies in 30 different countries around the world, and having fun and being known for having fun at exactly the same time. We teach the difference between assets and liabilities. Let's just do this as an interesting exercise as adults here today. Please type into the chat with me here, just so, remember, when you get involved here, you'll remember this. Type into the chat either A or L for asset or liability as an answer to this question. Is a car an asset or a liability? Type in A for asset or L for liability. And I'm going to give you guys feedback on what you're saying here. I know what you're going to say, but I still want to ask every single time because it's always the same breakdown. So I'm going to say it's 90% are saying liabilities, 5% asset, and 5% saying it depends. The answer is 95% of you are actually, as adults, incorrect. The answer is it depends. You cannot tell if something is an asset or a liability without asking a follow-up question about cash flow. Which way is the money flowing? Is the money coming out of your pocket? Then it's a liability. Is it bringing money into your pocket? Then it's an asset. So if you're using the car to drive your family around day by day, it's costing you money, car insurance, fuel, etc. It's a liability. If, however, you're using that car as an Uber or a Lyft or some form of taxi, it's making more money than it's costing you, it's an asset, right? Super simple, easy to explain. You can explain to an 8-year-old, but most adults don't fully get the concept. So they end up with a lot of liabilities, thinking they're assets in some cases. So let's do another example. What is a house? What is a house? Is a house an asset or a liability? Okay. It's incredible. No matter where I do these, the results are the same. For the first question, it's always 90% liability. For the second question, usually 70% say asset, 20% say liability, and then double the 5% of the first question say it depends. So even though I've just told you the answer with the first question, people still don't fully tune in to realize, oh, shit, he just told me that. So again, you can't tell if a house is an asset or a liability until you ask the question, well, Paul, which way does the cash flow? I say, oh, great question, because it all depends on the cash flow. So if you're living in your house with your family and it's costing you money, the money is going out, it's a liability. So the vast majority of people are living in liabilities. However, if you're renting out rooms in that house, if you're renting out an office out the back or use it as office space, it becomes an asset. Does this make sense? Type in aha if you've just had a little bit of an aha moment there where you go, my God, it's so simple. I just wish, and what you're going to say is, I wish I learned that in school, right? And that's what it keeps coming back to. People are like, I just didn't get that fully. So if you knew that even 20 years ago, right, you make very different decisions around how you spend money on assets and liabilities. So we go through these concepts and explain it to them in day-to-day life, because the vast majority of society spend 99% of their money every day on consumables and liabilities that need to be replaced again, and don't even consider putting money into assets because they don't even know how to do that, right? So we go through that process every month and learn and teach them something new, something powerful every month. Now, we're not exceptional in that we're the only people that do that. We're not, right? There are people out there like Robert Kiyosaki and these guys, they do teach the theory of money, right? However, I want to go way deeper than that. I've had a huge advantage, myself and Chris, in that we've been teaching for 11 years how to help people set up online businesses, how to earn money. So we are not just like just about showing this stuff. We go in with all feet. We jump right in with both feet and say, hey, we're not just going to teach you the theory. We're going to show you how to earn this, right? This isn't theory. This isn't school. This isn't college. This is practice. This is how do you get in there and start earning money. So I've already kind of introduced, and Mike has, about my own backstory, and Chris, who we mentioned earlier, and we are the founders of this, but everything changed for me when I went to an event back in 2009. This is me sitting in the front row of a multi-speaker event in Dublin, Ireland, with all American speakers, and that was the day that that gentleman got up on stage, and I'm telling you, I was not enjoying it. We're Irish, we're incredibly skeptical, we don't believe what anybody says. They were big into their motivation and their high fives and everything is awesome. In fact, one speaker said, stand up, turn to the person next to you and start massaging their shoulders. We're Irish. We don't even touch our own family, let alone strangers. We do social distancing naturally. You don't need to ask us legally to stay apart. We do it by default. The only reason we drink is not because we like it, it's because we need to procreate, right? So this is kind of where we're coming from. And I'm listening to these speakers talking about, I'm just making millions on the internet, and you're just going, this can't be right. I mean, this has to be a scam. If it was this easy, everybody else would be doing it, right? And then that guy got up on stage and he said, the irony is, you think we're here to brainwash you. When you guys are so brainwashed, you don't appreciate that most of you are completely in debt and you keep doing the same thing every day, each day, totally confidently, driving your cars, living in your houses, acting rich poor. Because if anybody could see your bank accounts, they'd appreciate none of this stuff that you're showing off is your own. It's somebody else's. The banks are paying for this. And it's so true. It is absolutely so true. But when you're surrounded by friends and family that reinforce this, you kind of get stuck in this limbo until eventually it's almost too late. Like Warren Buffett says, be careful, he says, because sometimes the binds of debt are too weak to be seen before they're too strong to be broken. So it was on that day back in 2009 that I changed my perspective. I actually quit my job a few months later, and that was when I started my online journey in just generating my income online. And as Mike said, made tens of millions of dollars in the meantime doing this, and share stages all over the world with people you'd know like Bill Clinton and Tony Robbins and Robert Kiyosaki and all these guys. But that's, for me, not impressive. What I'm impressed about is what we have managed to do with our first event for financial freedom, where we did it as part of our foundation, our charitable foundation in Johannesburg last June, where we had 55,000 teenagers at our first ever event over a 4-day period. And they're all doing the leap dance on stage, the L-E-A and play. And it was incredible to see how we are inspiring now and just getting started and inspiring an entire generation, and how much they want this and love this opportunity to go and just not repeat the mistakes of the previous generation. So our objectives are simple. We want to teach children and teens to become financially smart and have fun while learning it at exactly the same time. And our mission is to empower children and teens to lead extraordinary lives, because every single one of them is a genius in their own way. But we measure them all by the same, academic, hey, this is your thing, this is what you got to go through. But as Einstein says, if you measure a goldfish by its ability to climb a tree, you're not exactly going to know if it's a genius or not at what it's meant to be doing. So every single month we give brand new material, brand new training within a membership site. So this is very contemporary in that it's like what your children are used to. It's like Netflix. They can access it wherever they are, their iPhones, their iWatches, their iMacs, their iPads. And you can see on the left-hand side, we have the learn, earn, accelerate, and play modules. We have nice, short, snappy videos, easy to follow, keep their attention, actionable. We give them specific things to print out, to do, to get certified as they go through it. And our 3 heroes walk them through the journey up from Earth and far beyond into space in some cases. And we introduce them to The Rock and Warren Buffett and the world's youngest self-made billionaire, Kylie Jenner, Jeff Bezos, worth 189 billion from Amazon, Deadpool, Mark Zuckerberg. So all these characters that we bring in so that it really feels fun, contemporary, and a really simple, easy way to learn that these people also followed the same systems that your kids and teens can now look at. So let me show you another video here for a moment on the Vault, which is where we share the training from each month, where a different celebrity comes in and shares what specifically they're going to be.
Hey, CF again here. Okay, come close because I've got a secret that I want to share with you. Things are always exciting when we whisper, aren't they? We want to introduce you in this video to a new secret area here in the members area at Financial, and we're calling this secret section the Vault. Now, it sounds intriguing, doesn't it? What is the Vault? Let me tell you. We want you to think of the Vault as being something like Tony Stark's laboratory from Iron Man. Wasn't that a great movie? Or the Batcave from Batman. Or if you're a James Bond fan, you know the laboratory where all the gadgets are made? Think of the Vault as being something like that, because moving forward from now on, it's in the Vault, and we'll take a look in the Vault in a second, that you will find the rest of the month's content. And every month, a special celebrity guest is going to deliver this content for us. This month, we've met him a few times before here in Financial, but flying up above us in his celebrity helicopter, it's my friend and yours, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. Hello, Rock. Now, the reason that we've mentioned The Rock a few times before is because he is a great guy to learn from. When The Rock started his acting career, he famously once said, I know 2 things. The first thing is I have no money, I'm broke. And the second thing I know is it won't always be that way. The Rock is now the richest actor in the world. So The Rock is a great example of what can be achieved when you have a plan. So we want to share this plan with you. So Rock, can you share with us the rest of the content for this month? Here it comes. Thank you, Rock. Got it. Great. Right, Pom, let me give this to you. Thanks for your help, Rock, by the way. And Cam, can you help us access the Vault so we can share this content with everybody? Okay, nice work, Cam, nice. Okay, great, we are in, fantastic. So let's enter into the Vault. This is what the Vault looks like. This is the first time you've seen the Vault, I know. Let's grab a seat. Pom, can you activate the content while I finish this video, please? And of course, we're about to continue with Earn. Okay, great, Pom, thank you. This is looking good. So in Earn, of course, every month we talk about how can you make money? Well, that's what we're going to break down for you step by step as we continue with Earn here in the Vault. So let's jump into Earn in the next video. See you there next.
Okay, so hopefully you get, again, you're getting this kind of, I see a lot of really nice comments about it. People are well impressed, but I'm telling you, I'm incredibly proud of the standard of what we have to put together here, because kids and teens are unforgiving. You know, if it isn't good enough, they just won't stick. So we've put so much effort. In fact, I've put $700,000 into this so far to get it to where it is, because I know it's worth it. And it's not a project about money. It's about a project about making a difference and making an impact and having some legacy here. So every month in the members area, we then teach your child and teen a specific business idea that they can get started literally within 24 hours. We show them step by step. We give them, in fact, what we call a little playbook that walks them through exactly how to do this. There is nothing, I reiterate, online, offline, that goes near this, that even attempts to bridge that gap between the theory of it and how do you actually go about helping children get up and running and actually earning this money. And as I say, it's all online, it's all membership sites. You can find it on our home site. But today, obviously, we're going to be talking about something very special for you guys because of being part of the Groove community. We talked about The Rock, we talked about their stories, and in Earn, we will take them through specific methodologies to make money in different ways through both online and offline businesses, things like Fiverr, Depop, ebook cover creations. And again, you're going to be getting a free gift as an example of one of these playbooks. Joe will be getting that out to you after this web class. And each and every month, they literally learn a brand new business. So for example, we'll give you one example where that we use Fiverr.com, and we explain how they can sell products and services for anything $5 and above. And then we walk them through. So this is a good example. We have 10 videos here. It's like video 1 of 10. We introduce Fiverr and how it works. Video 2, what exactly do you sell there? Video 3, what kind of services could you sell there? And then we share free software that your child or teen can start using literally today, and they could be making $50 to $100 per hour by doing things like creating ebook covers, digital covers, replacing graphic designers, using free softwares like mock-up photos is this example here. Most adults, even most online marketers, aren't even aware of some of the incredible tools that adults can use. But for me, my focus with this is children and teens, because they will happily spend 5 minutes in order to make $5. And we show them how to do upsells, how to get people into follow-up sequences, and all of these things that adults kind of sometimes learn if they get into the world of online marketing. But teens and kids, this is just so second nature to them, so simple to do. And then we give them other ideas of things they could sell, making decisions on how to choose their gig, how to price it, how to put up a profile, what exactly to promote, and then how do you get paid and how to get set up so that payment comes in for them on a regular basis. Super simple ideas. Every single one is based on, and of course, the simplest ideas are always the most profound. And again, we give them a playbook that just shows them step by step, tick it off day by day, exactly what they need to do in order to create these incredibly powerful businesses. I can tell you now already, we have multiple children earning more than their parents. Some of them haven't even become teenagers and they're earning more than their parents. So I bet you didn't think that was a problem you might have before you came on today, that, oh, I'm not so sure how I feel about that, my child or teen earning more than me. But of course, if this is real money, this is real work, this is where they're adding real value, right? And we explain everything about how all of this works and what the tax implications are, what tax is, and all these kind of things where you enter into a very different mindset about how it all works. And Depop is this super powerful website that teens are using as an equivalent for eBay to declutter homes, to sell things that are lying around the house, particularly ones that teens, etc., are keen to buy. We've got kids making hundreds of dollars a week on that. Then other things like garage sales, but not just a standard one. How to do it as a business, how to set it up as a methodology, how to get people to show up, how to do incredibly opportunities, again, that most adults and kids will completely miss because they don't know how to do this. The secret, of course, is just getting started, making it fun, and absolutely getting them engaged. And they don't have to be entrepreneurs, right? We teach online and offline businesses every month, whether they want to be a singer or a sports star or whatever that is. If they understand how money works and how to manage it, they're never going to have money management problems for the rest of their lives, which leads perfectly into the next stage, which is Accelerate, which is teaching them now how to move from exchanging time for money to letting the money grow, and create more money. So in the Accelerate modules, we teach them about savings, about investing, how to get different percentage return rates on what they have. And we teach a simple savings or investment strategy each month and the different types of investment vehicles that you could use. We literally get into even teaching things like options and puts and all these kind of things that most adults don't even fully understand. But when explained in the right way, it is incredibly straightforward to do. The secret, of course, to becoming wealthy is with money and learning how to manage it is to learn how to save. And we show them, we walk them through a process of exactly how to save money. In fact, let me share another video with you of, and again, this is the kind of thing that your children can learn. Oh, I don't have that one set up actually, so but basically this is the system. I'll show you here, this 4-jar system for any child or teen to use, where what they do is that they start to learn this process around money, that Everything you are given, whether it be from a grandparent, a parent, or what you earn in a job, 50% of it you can use immediately. You can spend it, there's absolutely no problem. However, 20% goes into your investment fund that you will never touch. This is going to let you become financially independent. The next 20% is your savings fund for your rainy day type fund. And the other 10% then goes into giving back, to helping those less fortunate around the planet. Because of course, once they learn that whole idea of letting money flow through them and helping the less well off, and the empowerment that you can create around money, it just changes an entire generation, and it changes their attitude towards money and going to a mode of abundance rather than of scarcity, which unfortunately, in my opinion, is leading to so many of the world's problems that we're seeing today. Just this scarcity that people are having around money because they're so reliant on jobs and other people's money. So again, explaining asset and liabilities totally helps with this. We also explain the difference between good debt and bad debt. The vast majority of society are laden down with bad debt. So few have good debt. Even fewer understand what good debt is. But let me just explain quickly to you as an adult. Bad debt is when you borrow money to purchase liabilities. In other words, you're fast tracking the outflow of cash. Good debt is when you borrow money to purchase assets. So now you're using somebody else's money to make you money. This is where my online marketing friends like you guys are starting to tune into, because that's exactly what I want you to be doing, is using the skills that you have to actually put them into assets like this, where you're investing and learning and growing. And it's incredible how many people do not know the difference between these two things, and how life-changing it will be by just changing those concepts and understanding that not all debt is bad. It's how you manage it is the most important. And we give them a map exactly of what to do. And here's a really cool thing about all of this. We're not anti-school. We're not anti-job. We explain where it all fits as part of a bigger plan, right? We give them this roadmap. In fact, we call it the JEDI model, right? We call it the JEDI model. And I really love this, because this is an incredibly simple way of explaining to your child or teen that there is an evolution that your child or teen can go through in their path, through their vocations in life, and it's 4 particular stages. And actually, we have a video where these guys would share an intro to this to you right now, our JEDI model. Hey, welcome to this month's Accelerate. Every month in Accelerate, we share something quick and simple that will allow you to grow and scale your money. Last month, we shared with you a very simple savings system. This month, we want to introduce you to the 4 stages to becoming financially successful.
Once you understand these 4 stages, you're going to be in a small group of people who understand how to go from making a little bit of money to making a lot of money.
Let us explain. In school, we are taught that when you leave, we need to get a good and stable job.
But what does this really mean?
Well, most people are told that getting a good job is the path to riches. Now, it is true, if you do stay in a job for a long time and you work your way up to the top of the company, yes, you can get paid very well. However, for most people, having a job is not the path to riches. Now, can we be crystal clear about something? And this is important. There is absolutely nothing wrong with getting a job. But we want to encourage you to think bigger than just relying on your job to make you money. That's our message to you here, because for long-term financial independence, unless you happen to have a well-paid job, you will need to think of other ways to make money than just relying on your job. And that's really what we want to share with you in this month's Accelerate, because we want to introduce you to something that we call the JEDI model.
This is the current reality. This is how things work in the world now.
Now, the JEDI model has 4 stages. J stands for job.
The E is for employer.
The D stands for director.
The I is for investor.
Now, this JEDI model is really important, and therefore we really want to make sure you understand it. Therefore, we're going to take things nice and slow and explain everything simply and step by step. So this month, we're just going to cover the J and the E, and then next month we'll cover onto the D and the I. Sound good? So let's start with the J. See you in the next video. Okay, guys, can you see my screen okay again? Dr. Richard was saying he couldn't see it fully, so just making sure everybody can see it. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so how cool is that? Type in cool if you're really enjoying the quality of these videos, right? It's absolutely, I've got a nephew that's 9 and he knows these videos verbatim. It's just incredible to see what this is doing. Actually, I'm going to let you in on a funny story here. My brother-in-law was driving my 9-year-old nephew to a supermarket the other day, and it was a particular type of supermarket, and my nephew Kean said to him, Dad, why are we going to, I'm not going to name the brand. He said, why are we going there? We should be going here instead. He said, do you want to be stuck in the rat race forever? Tom, my brother-in-law immediately called me up. He said, what are you teaching my nephew? He goes, but it was so, couldn't stop laughing, but it's not just funny, it's also incredibly empowering to understand that he knew as a 9-year-old that, you know what, they could have probably saved $50 to $100 in a week if they just changed where they were going to their supermarket. So it's incredible to see, you know, the subtleties in terms of what, you know, with the things that children can pick up so quickly, and the returns that it's going to make for them in the short, medium, and long terms. The final step is play. Remember, L is for learn, E is for E, A is for accelerate, and P is for play. Play is the most important module of all, right? It's the most important module of all. And this is where we explain to your child or teen that life isn't just about money. Lucy's saying you can't see my screen. Can you just verify, guys, by typing in 1 that you can see a picture of, well, I haven't put it up yet, a picture of 8, there's kind of 8 things listed there. No, it's just up there now. Yeah, okay, Lucy, sorry. Bad news is it's at your end, but hopefully I've reset it there for you again now. Okay, so, and we explain, right, a lot of kids, as you know, we have these massive challenges right now with mental health issues, and so much of that comes back to children not having their own focus, their own goals, their own inspiration, their own guide, their own compass. You look outside of them and they're responding to external pressures, external forces, other people's opinions, other people's decisions. And we want to explain to them, look, you're going through a certain age right now, but there are other areas that are important. There's health, there's wealth, there's finances, there's business, there's education, there's family, there's giving back, there's fun, there's spirituality. And your parents will have a different perspective to you. Your grandparents will have a different perspective to you. Your older brother or maybe your younger sister will have different perspectives from you, but you will also have those perspectives as you go through life. So we learn how to respect each other's opinions and views, but also it doesn't, like, you don't need to get totally obsessed with results in exams. There are other things in life where you were born to be. There's a reason that you're here. There are goals that you're here to discover for yourself. There's a mission that you would like to pursue. And we walk them through how Warren, Kylie, The Rock, Jeff Bezos, and all of these successful people business-wise have goals, how they use goals to excite them and drive them and inspire them, and teach them the whole idea of specific, measurable, achievable, time-bound goals, and how to go from not having a skill at all to going through a learning zone, getting out of your comfort zone, embracing a new skill, setting short, medium, and long-term goals, and how to reward yourself for getting there. And we give them vision boards, we give them goal templates. It is just, your child and your teen is going to be almost in a different planet, because they are going to be given the tools that most adults will never get. And when you interview the most successful billionaires on the planet, all 2,118 of them, the vast majority of them have super clear goals. They follow them, they have a mission, they have a reason for being here, they know exactly what they're doing, and a huge amount of them, it's all about giving back and helping others. And again, that's a huge part of what we do, is the charity and foundation aspect of this, where a portion of all of the business funds go directly into the foundation, we call it, to it helps children and teens in less well-off countries, teaching them about money, business, etc., and also helps children with autism, which is a particular favorite of mine in terms of helping kids and teens, you know, that have challenges in those areas. So a portion of all of the business funds goes directly back into that as well. And so we lead by example, because one of the things in play is we want your child or teen to set as a goal for themselves to pay for the family vacation, that they pay for the vacation this year for the family, because this is very realistic and very possible within the realms of what they're going to be learning and what they're going to be doing here. And that beautifully wraps up the LEAP model. So from learn to earn to accelerate to play, learning how to give back, learning that the secret to living is giving, and just let that money flow and understand it's not just about what they believe it to be, right? That it's not scarce, it's abundant. And especially each month, you know, in a time now where we're going into recession around the world and people kind of think that money somehow leaves the planet, money goes from where the people don't appreciate it to the people who do appreciate it. And believe me, your children will have a brand new appreciation around money. They'll understand that what they've been given hasn't happened easily, but also how they can learn how to grow that, help share that, and help others as well as help themselves. It's gamified. We've got apps that they can use. They can compete with other kids around the world. We're looking to bring back the whole idea of pen pals. If you're of my generation and you remember that idea of pen pals, where you write letters to a child in the other part of the world, well, we're looking to have children who are doing this kind of sponsor other kids, where they have Skype calls and Zoom calls with kind of charities that we're working with, so that they literally can see themselves change the lives of families around the world. Like, we truly are here to make a difference to this entire generation, because I'm not waiting for anyone else to do it, because I don't see anybody else rushing to do this. They've had long enough. So we spent 6 years, and I said $700,000 to make it happen, and we are so excited to let you guys be one of the very first people to hear about it. It's all about education. It's fun. It's all animated. It's all cartoons. I can see a lot of you are asking, how do I promote this? Do you have affiliate links, etc.? Well, how you can get involved is in two specific ways. We have, I believe, an incredible offer that I know you're going to love. If you have any knowledge about marketing, and of course you do if you're on this call because you're using Groove, you get this stuff, right? There are two options, but I think there's one in particular that you are going to very strongly lean towards. Think about this, guys. I mean, I've been in this market for 11 years. It's hard to believe, but it's 11 years. And the challenge when I started was always, what do I sell? What's the product? What can I just promote? If you could just tell me that, right? This product, you don't have to sell. You just literally open your mouth and start talking about it for 2 sentences, and it will be grabbed off of you by another parent. What? You literally just stand there with your smartphone and watch it, and the person beside you in the bus, if they're a parent, will say, I'm sorry, what's that you're watching, right? In fact, let me share a very quick video to prove this point. One of our ambassadors recently put up a post in a Facebook group just showing her child watching the training, learning about compounding. And she just posted it up there, right? And you'll be able to see it right now. Okay, and she just said, hey, my son is learning how to be financially smart today. Today's modules were all about compounding. Einstein called it the 8th wonder of the world. We also explored what children could do easily to start earning money. It was like a light bulb moment for Louis, right? Who thinks this stuff should be taught in school? And were you taught to be financially smart as a child or teen? If so, how did it impact you? Within 12 hours, there were 260 comments. 260 comments. Now look at what the comments are saying. Hi, what is the course that you're using? Next one. Could I have the details, please? Next. Can I have the details too? Next. Sorry, how do you do this? Sorry, could I have the details, please? One after the other. Would love to have the details, please. Please, could you share more information on this? Oh my God, where did you find this? Where did you come across this? And it keeps on coming, right? It's like they literally had to stop this post in the Facebook group because of how it blew up in such a short space of time. And then the group owner said, hey, would you mind coming on to do a webinar about this? Because it blew up. It blew up because payers, and it just keeps on going down here. 260 comments, primarily about how do you do this? How can I get access? How can I get trained up? Because as I said just a few moments ago, and as I'm going to say again here now, you don't need to push this. It's all you need is to make people aware of it, and this thing will literally sell itself. It is, I mean, parents want it, they just don't know it's out there, right? So for me, that's the obvious option for you guys, is to become what we call an ambassador. So these are the two options. The first option is the training itself, okay? No brainer. Your child, your teen, think about what you're setting aside for college. We looked at the crazy numbers earlier. $37,000 average per year for an average college, $195,000 over 5 years to get into debt. and all that comes with that. Let's say it was even a quarter of that price. Let's say it was just, you're thinking, no, that's too expensive. Let's say it was $50,000 to go through college for 4 years, which would be very, very reasonable in today's world. 50,000, right? And what we're talking about here is that doesn't even need to be brought up, because first of all, your child won't need a loan because they can figure out how to make this money themselves. Secondly, they may not choose to go to college because they'll wonder, well, why do I need to go there to learn how to exchange time for money? Why could I not just do what I love, start earning money immediately, and actually do what I'm brought here to be on the planet to do, right? These are kind of different types of questions that your kids and teens are going to start being able to ask, and with a very solid education behind it, because these are very real questions that, you know, why do you need to do these things when it actually doesn't get you as a child or a teen or the parents the results that they want? So that's, you know, that's one route is you know, planning on setting aside a big college fund, right? Now, the second option, by the way, so first option one is giving them the training. Just let them get started, get them get stuck in. There's an entire years of training here for them. Option two, you get access to all of the training, but in addition, and this is the one I know you guys are going to love, you get the ability to promote this. This is called the Ambassadors Program. We are very, very careful in who we allow to promote this. Why? Because it's for children and teens, right? The first thing anybody will ask is, oh, this is for my kid. Okay, what's it about? Tell me about it. Do you use it? Tell me more, etc., 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 right? They're going to immediately grill you like you would as a parent, and rightly so, because it's not a course that you're buying for you, it's a course you want your children and teens to do. So we make sure that anybody that becomes an ambassador is certified, that they actually have an exam. We teach you how to answer these questions. You have to pass an exam before you're certified. It doesn't take long, it'll only take a couple of days in terms of from now to when you're already certified. But we want to make sure that everybody is at the same standard. Yes, we could make a lot more money if we let anybody want to promote this, but that's not how we want to do this. It's not money that's driving this. It's changing a generation. It's helping children and teens around the world to make a huge difference in their lives. So let's give a little bit more detail of both options. The first option is getting access to the membership site itself, to the training. So whichever option you choose, this comes as part of it. You get access to the training. We call it fundamentals. Fundamentals, and again, this is accessed on an iPad, PC, laptop, iPhone, iWatch, whatever it is, the way kids and teens like to look at it today. And in there, we have the learn, the earn, the accelerate, play, where we teach the types of things that Salma did to make $190 in 11 minutes, how Kiani made $13,000 in 2 days. You know, just incredible stuff that's possible here, like literally life-changing money, where you just can put this and park it as a problem. It's like done with. You go, wow, okay, well, that's a big problem that was coming that I can suddenly take care of. It's organized. Thank you to whoever this Irish guy is to helping me out on this, right? So in fundamentals, the animated training is designed for all ages, but primarily 7 to 13-year-olds. Like, I strongly suggest as an adult that you watch it without a shadow of a doubt. The program itself is for 7 to 19-year-olds, right? But the animated part, 7 to 13-year-olds, each month they learn specific theory around money, how it works, etc. All of those things that we talked about earlier. How to earn money. We set them up with 12 separate income streams, up to 12. They don't have to create 12 separate income streams, but they'll learn new ones every month. Accelerate, teaching them how to save, how to compound. You saw the difference with the Dan and Toby example earlier, the difference of over $1 million just by starting earlier, right? And the sooner your children learn how to manage money, the more money they'll be given to manage. Then we teach them how to save it, grow it, invest it, where to look to get the best kind of investments, etc. Then we talk about play, which is about giving back, setting goals, understanding that, you know, they're their best guide. They don't need to look for external validation from friends and to tell them about what they should be doing or how they should look. You know, that they have an inner compass that they just aren't aware of, and how to access that. The JEDI model, showing them how to go from job to employer to director to investor. Training for the parents every month. Access to the app that we have. The playbooks that they get every single month. Goal setting boards, vision board planners. We'll also be coming out with a physical log for them, like a diary style that's coming out very soon. That's a total value, and I mean, these values, you kind of see these a lot with different offerings, but for me, this is ridiculously conservative. You're talking about life-changing money here, but I'm putting a a value of $4,000 on it. It's $997 on the website. You can check it out for yourself at financialfreedom.com. It's $997 per year. However, we're going to do this first offer for you as a one-time payment of $1 a day. That's it. One off, $365, all of the training, and you have lifetime access to the training. Lifetime access, $365 instead of $997 annual payment. You are saving literally thousands and thousands of dollars by coming through Groove and by coming through Mike tonight. I haven't given you a link yet. For those of you looking to get in, just bear with me a moment. I'm much more interested in explaining this so you understand it fully. Then when I say go, you just jump straight away and get in there and go. You need this coupon code. This is specifically for Groove Funnels, so you will not get the discount on the page unless you use the coupon codes that we give you. The ambassador program is the option that I know is the right fit for you guys. Not only do you get option one, all of the training, you also then get certified on how to become an ambassador and to promote what I truly believe to be the only product that's ever existed that you're just pushing against an open door. It's like, okay, give it to me, hit me, I need it, my kid needs it. Now, of course, some parents will say, let children be children, right? And that's their business, right? No problem, right? But I'm talking about your average parent. Most of them, they're here to have their children have a better life than themselves. That's our objective as parents, right? I have an 11-month-old and a 3-year-old. They're a little young for this yet, but I already know they're what drive me. They're what make me get up in the morning and inspire me, that they never have to worry about any of this stuff. But at the same time, anytime these cartoons go on, they just shoot up immediately because they know it's fun time. So as part of the ambassador program, you get the fundamentals, which is lifetime access to all of the digital training, all of the cartoons, right? Then we also teach them how to become certified as an ambassador. We give you access to, now this is where we would lose most people, but why I'm telling you about this, because you get this, the being part of Groove, right? We'll give you our book shipping, our free plus shipping funnels. We'll give you our exact webinar offers. We'll give you our templates that we use for the books and the upsells, the templates that we have for the webinar slideshows in case you want to run your own webinars as an ambassador like I'm doing today, so that because you may, well, many of you might be teachers, you might be lecturers, you might be sports coaches, you might have access to bunches of parents, because the more access you have to them, the easier this becomes, because it is incredible the difference you're going to make. And I would like to reward you if you're willing to say, you know what, I mean, to be honest, most parents we've ever met would happily recommend this without making a penny. But this is just if you would like to, you know, use this. It's a business in a box, right? So we give you the exact templates that we have, or webinar slideshows. Chris and I will do an introductory video for you that you can use on your webinars. We'll come onto your podcast if you have one as a guest. We'll give you our exact Facebook ad templates. We'll give you our email, pre-webinar and post-webinar sequences. When we get this translated to different languages, you'll have access to sell it in different countries, like in Spanish and Portuguese and Russian and all these that will come in time, right? The reason we push to get this out right now is because there is an incredible pent-up demand for home school studies. Parents are tearing their hair out. They don't know what to do with their kids. They've ran out of all the stuff they were meant to teach. The kids are hating it. They're not enjoying any of it. And suddenly, boom, this arrives. It doesn't just solve the home study problem. It also actually teaches practical, life-lasting, lifelong, life-changing skills all in one go, right? It is literally a gift that just keeps on giving. And as part of your investment, we send a percentage towards the foundation, so that we're always helping and giving back at the same time. The total value of this, because you are, as I said, getting a business in a box, is about $30,000. But honestly, think about it. I haven't said this yet. The commission structure, simple, 50%. You get 50% commission. So this is a no-brainer for any marketer whatsoever. Even if you don't know how to use a computer, you can hand out leaflets through doors and you'll probably have made your money back by the time you're finished going around the neighborhood. Because any parent that watches the trainings on this will be convinced very, very quickly that this, I mean, how could you say no to it? Really, like, there is no downside whatsoever, zero downside to this whatsoever. The only risk is if you don't do it. So that is for sale on financialfreedom.com for $3,497 per year, because it is an incredible opportunity here to just, you know, make a lot of money from promoting it. But what we're going to do for you guys specifically for Groove is this: $997, one time, lifetime access, lifetime ambassador, one payment only. but you need to make note of this coupon, GF1, GF1. So here you have it, the ambassador program, and go right now. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're good. Okay, so just in case you broke up there, I think it broke up for a couple of people there. It's bit.ly/GrooveFF. Okay, I can see we're back. Okay, perfect. Right. So let's get them both on the same slide for you so that you can see what an easy decision this is to make for you right now. Okay, we have the ambassadors program on the left-hand side, which is the perfect fit for anybody in the Groove community because you have incredible tools right now, incredible tools, such an advantage over, you know, not just regular people who have no idea how to market, but even over traditional online marketing specialists who aren't using those tools that you have access to. You know, this gives you the chance not only to have your children and teens embrace the training, become incredibly financially smart, become very entrepreneurial in many ways, and never have worries around money for the rest of their lives, engage in compounding right away. So, I mean, as you saw with the example with Toby and Dan earlier, literally saving themselves and making themselves millions of dollars by starting now when they are young. And the examples we showed was of a 20-year-old, right? What if you start at 10 or 12 or 14 or 16? You know, you're never too late, but the sooner the better. So again, what you need to remember are these coupon codes. I'm going to show you right now exactly how they work. Okay, so with the ambassador program on the left, this includes all of the training, but also the ability to be certified promoter of the training. Okay, so some of you are saying you're not able to get in. I'm not surprised because a lot of you, I know that we only have like less than 100 on right now because it's Friday and it's a difficult, it can be a little bit challenging to get in, but I can see that pretty much every single person is trying to get in right now. So, but even still, just refresh because it's going to take you know, first come first serve type thing here. Just be patient with it. So when you go in, and let me show you exactly what's going to happen here, right? You go to, on the right hand side, the ambassador version is automatically chosen for you by default because, as I said, this is the one that I feel is the best fit for all of you guys. Both of them are great fits, but this is definitely the better fit. So that is chosen by default. Okay, so that's on the lower right hand side. Now the big red arrow is pointing out where it says have a coupon code ? So it's almost kind of hidden. It's like on a gray text and a gray background because most people won't have a coupon code. They have no awareness that, you know, you can get it from something like this. So we've set this up specifically for the Groove phones and the Groove community, right? So you will see the price there for me. It says, there you go, have a coupon code. It says $2997. $2997. So what you are going to do is where it says have a coupon code, just click right there, okay, up there on the top, and type in GF1. Okay, type in GF1, and then what you do is you click apply right next to it, GF1, and you click apply. Now, if you look very closely there, it says underneath that $2997. You can see for me it's slightly higher. That's because I'm in the European Union, so it adds on the VAT for that. So those of you that are in the EU will see that you'll be charged VAT as normal. But for those of you outside of it, it doesn't add on the VAT. So again, this is for the ambassador option, GF1. You press apply, and then before you sign up, you'll be able to see straight away that it has kicked in. The link, by the way, is still the same, bit.ly/GrooveFF. But I'm going to go through this in painstaking detail to make sure you get the coupon code discount working for you, right? So you have GF1 in, you get your green tick, you're good to go, and then boom, it drops from $2997 to $997, or $997 plus 20% if you are in the EU for your VAT. So you will be able to see there on the left-hand side that you've got the discount, okay, from $2997 down to $997. Then boom, that's it. That's time to enter your details, and off you go. And you will immediately, as soon as you get in, right now, this moment, and I know it'll only take about another 30 to 60 seconds and the first of you will start getting in, right? So I just want to make sure you're getting this clearly. Okay, so you've got your coupon codes in, so now start putting in your details. Then you can immediately set up your account, get login details, get going, get up and running, and be able to actually get started on the first 5 videos and up and running in straight away. And actually what I might do in a moment is go in and actually show you what this looks like also when you log into the account. So again, you can watch it on your iPhone, iWatch, iPad, iMac. Doesn't have to be Apple's. I'm not the biggest Apple fan myself. PCs, laptops, old school computers, it will work on them all. Now, here is a massive incentive for you guys to buy right now, because when you are buying through Groove and when you buy immediately, I am going to make this, I know it's already incredible, but I want to make it even better for you right now. By the way, congratulations. Donald, fantastic, you're in. Marilyn, congratulations, you're in. Vic, congratulations, you're in. Kimberly, congratulations, you're in. Imelda, congratulations, you're okay. Wow, they're already coming in and you're just literally starting to get in. Okay, so from your buy, now this is what you're going to get. And by the way, those of you in, you're getting this already, right? This is for everybody that gets in right now. We are currently wrapping up the editing of the training for 14 to 19-year-olds. What we're doing for 14 to 19-year-olds are we're asking them to start off with the animated training that's already in the membership site, and then we have kind of a graduated program where it's teenagers being recorded, providing the training over video, you know, in a more meaningful way, I suppose, for older teenagers. So they'll be walking them through step by step by step. You know, what's next? It's still LEAP, but it's the next leap. It's going through in more detail, different income streams, more in, you know, different kinds of savings and investing, because obviously as you get slightly older, you have access to different types of investing accounts, etc., as you move forward. So why am I sharing this with you? Because once this is done, this will be released as a completely separate product. It will be sold separately. We'll do different targeting for parents because it'll be older parents. But of course, all of your children are either there already or are eventually going to end up as 14 to 19-year-olds. And this is, of course, for grandparents too, guardians, uncles and aunts. And we're going to be selling this just like the other program that we talked about for a value of $3,497, right? And it's going to be separate, marketed separately, etc. So why am I bringing this up? Because this is going to be included for you for free. For free. When you join right now, this is going to be added complimentary to your program. It will appear in your membership site. It's not finished yet. As I say, once we're done with the editing, it's going to take a significant amount of editing, obviously, to get all of this to make it look amazing. So teens love it, but it's yours. And lifetime access, once more, lifetime access to your 12-month training that's in there. There's 12 modules. You're going to absolutely love this again. So it's for children that are then graduating to the next level, into the later teens. We will still strongly encourage them, as with adults, to start by watching all of the animated training. Right? Don't confuse the cartoon characters and the fun and simplicity side of that with the don't miss out on the profoundness of the teachings and the trainings. As I've said already, the parents watching this are like, oh my God, I'm learning so much, but I'm trying to pretend I know it already in front of my children. So that is going to be included. So this complete program for older teens is going to be added on top of it. So literally doubling up on what we just said, where I could have done an entire presentation on this just to promote this and sell this separately. And I know just as many of you would be just as interested in this. It's yours also, included, free. What's the catch? You have to get it right now. That is the catch. In addition, for our ambassadors, we are going to do a live training each month with you, where we're going to share with you the best learnings, what's happening, what's working right now, whether it's online with specific online trainings, looking at the funnels that we have, the book funnels, the webinars we're running, the webinars you might be running, the Facebook ads we're running. Those of you that are starting using Groove right now, we would be super interested for you to share your learnings, because you have, you know, the more successful you are at Groove, the more likely we are to invite you on to come speak, to come share your learnings, because of course all of you here are going to want to be using your Groove templates and Groove funnels to promote this. So we're excited for you guys to become successful with this, with Groove, so you can share it on our trainings live each month also. Now, if you're not that savvy when it comes to internet and technical just yet, and you're kind of in your infancy and kind of embracing the Groove thing nice and slowly, you know, it doesn't matter. We'll also be showing you offline methodologies, from dropping leaflets indoors, from direct mailing, you know, and Again, we're just starting this, so this is going to grow, and there'll be a lot more substantial training in there as we continue to do this every single month. And when I go in and show you what the membership site looks like in a bit, you're going to see that you'll already also, as a bonus, will give you access to the 2 trainings that have already happened, the July one and the June one, but you're all set for the next one that's coming up right now. That is a year's access as a bonus, live trainings. They'll be recorded, of course, for you as well. Where you come in and ask your questions, ask your queries, and we will support you in there. Total value of 3,497. So again, you can see what everybody else is doing, and it really help guide you. It'll also allow us to share with you what we are doing. This third bonus is my favorite because it's completely priceless as a value, right? Once you make your first $50,000 as an ambassador, or your child or team makes it through just following the processes through the business options that are in there. Once they make their first $50,000 in revenue, and you just submit the proof to us, they are going to have their own animated character created, right? They're going to be forever in part of financial. They're going to be in a video. We'll have a video around them where they're part of it, where they're a guest in there. That can be you, or it can be your kid or teen. It's completely up to you which you prefer. So this is super cool. It's funny how excited our ambassadors are about this specifically, because this is their big goal is, oh my God, I want to be part of this. I want to be able to show people how to do this. And actually, it's something we are doing to reach out to big influencers that are out there, is actually getting their animated character within this. So it makes them much more likely that they're going to come on board as ambassadors themselves, and also spread the word. Look, this whole movement, financial, right, I mentioned it again, but I'm going to say it again. Financial is going to be a global brand. People are going to hear about this. You're going to see it on CNN and Fox and Sky News and all these places across the world. But as I say, we came to Groove first, and we come to our friends within this industry first to give you guys a chance first to get this out there in advance, because you understand how to do direct marketing. You understand the idea of how to promote somebody else's product. You understand better than anybody else, how to market this stuff. So it makes more sense for us to start with this approach, and then yes, absolutely, it will be all over the newspapers, magazines, etc. And I don't say that in an arrogant sense. I just know, because when people start to follow this and do this, parents will just start talking. They're just going to, it's the easiest sell in the world, in that there's no selling involved. There's no selling involved. I know I said it, and I'm going to say it again. Like, you literally could be standing anywhere with another parent, have your phone up like this, and be watching one of the trainings and laugh. Go, oh. They'll say, oh, what's that? You watching cartoons? Say, yeah, I am actually, but this cartoon is teaching my child how to become financially free. It's incredible. They show up. Job done, right? As you saw earlier, the video of the Facebook group with 262 comments in just 12 hours, where people are, give me the link, how do I get access? It is such a no-brainer. And I said it, I just have to keep repeating myself on this stuff, but I know my challenge when I started was, how do I find a product that I can get 100% behind? Now, Groove is something you can get 100% behind, but what's the difference here? The difference is that assumes that that person wants to build an online business, or is looking to go down that route, okay? Which immediately reduces the numbers. But at the same time, you can be using your Groove skills to say to any parent who, even if they have no interest in an internet business or setting up a business or creating money for themselves, hey, this is a homeschooling course for your kids that will change their lives. It will change your life, because you can relax and stop having the parent pulling their hair out with their kids not knowing what to do. So it is such a win-win-win across the board, where everyone from the final user sitting there implementing this, inspiring other children around the world, helping to give back, partnering up with children in countries that have no access to these kinds of things, where they literally can see that demonstratable, real life change in a family's financial life by overcoming their struggles, by sharing together how they can follow this exact same process wherever they are in the world, because financial are in there bridging that gap to help this next generation to move out of this mode of scarcity, this mindset of, oh, there's only so much to go around, and rather the mindset of abundance and helping first, and help, and you'll be able to help yourself later. Like Zig Ziglar says, help people get what they want, and you'll get what you want. Okay, so by buying right now today, you are going to be getting the older teen versions, right? Once that goes live later, the monthly live trainings on the ambassadors, and of course the $50,000 reward by getting your very own animated character. Okay, that's a total value of $7,000 plus change or minus change that it will be just included as an add-on because you've come through this webinar, because you've used the coupon codes that we mentioned. And part of your investment today, by the way, goes directly to the foundation side of this. Okay, it goes to the foundation. It's incredible. I could just, if I could just, well, actually, I do have a video of it from when with 55,000 children over 4 days last June in Johannesburg, and just to see the spark in their eyes, the twinkle, the excitement, the enthusiasm, knowing that they don't have to go back in to repeat the same problems that their parents, their peers, their uncles, their aunts have gone through, the struggles, the scarcity, all these challenges and what comes with it, crime included. And that can be just completely tackled head on by just saying, look, focus on you, learn how to do this, help somebody else. And a portion of your funding is going, again, as I say, to that, helping children less well off around the world, and also children with autism, which is, again, as I say, a specific area that's of focus to me. Okay, so again, let's have them compared for you. You've got the ambassadors program on the left. This is the one I know most of you are going to go for. Fundamentals is to get you up and running. This is the training specifically for your children and teens. And normally, if I was doing a webinar, that would probably be the only one I would share, because if it was for normal parents, and by normal, I don't mean in a negative way, I mean normal in that they've no interest in an online business, they've never heard about the opportunity, they've never heard of affiliation, they've never heard of Groove, they've never heard of, up until 2 months ago, they've never heard of Zoom, right? We would just focus clearly on, look, here's the training, it's amazing, get your kids on it. And we have a series, by the way, of different types of payment plans that are available for those parents. So, you know, they can pay less, but they pay monthly. You, by the way, as an ambassador, get paid 50% commission on all payments that come in, front end, back end, whatever it is. We're in this to make this as incentivizing as possible for you. Complete no-brainer, so that, you know, it becomes the #1 product that you always want to get out there, that you can just not only enjoy and use and get the rewards and fruits of, but also promote it to get the rewards and fruits of that. I mean, imagine if your kid is the first into a class, the first into a classroom using this, and then has 30 more children or 15 more children or 20 more children that they can start talking about. Their parents suddenly going, well, I don't want that kid getting ahead of mine. You know, like literally just think about the difference, you know, just from that alone, what could be brought in on a monthly basis as an ambassador here, okay? And I want to take away all your risk from you completely, right? Again, you're already getting one-time payment, lifetime access here. But for whatever reason, this is for anybody that's sitting on the fence. Oh, by the way, there's so many of you here. Sorry, I missed Imelda. Congrats, Patrick, congrats. Honapak, congrats. Frank, congrats. Jenny, congratulations. Say, congrats. Marion, congrats. Jaroslav, congrats. Klaus, congrats. Angie, congrats. Lisa, congrats. Chris, so cool. there's less than 100 on, but pretty much everyone's getting it. Yvonne, congrats. Gabriel, congrats. Right, I'm not going to go back to any more names, but well done, guys. Congratulations. Mary, congratulations. Ryan, congratulations. John, okay, no more names. I'm not going to call any more out. I'm just going to focus on this, right? But well done. You've got in. The code is working for you. I think, Imelda, you're saying you have a challenge with yours. You've accidentally not used the code. Okay, we'll get back to you separately after this. No problem at all. We'll take care of that. But this is for any of you that's still not in and you're not sure. I know if you're here right now and you're still watching this, you want this, right? But if there's, for any reason, there's some kind of niggling thing, I'm not sure, I'm on the fence, okay. I don't want you to feel like you're taking any risk whatsoever. The only risk, as I said a few minutes ago, is not doing this. So if you change your mind in the next 60 days, for whatever reason, you use it, you don't use it, whatever it is, you can have your money back. Just send us an email, say, hey, you know what, I want my money back. Not even, we will ask you, obviously, why, just in case it's something we can help you with, but it's a no quibble. It's more, the only reason we're asking you is just to get some feedback. You know, is it something we can help with? Is it something we want to improve? Because we're always looking to make this better, more exciting, more enthusiastic in terms of the training, the delivery, etc. So 60 days, no quibble. You don't get this with products anymore. But the reason we're doing it is because we're not in this for just exclusively, hey, let's make this and maximize the profits we can get. No, this is much more about a movement. Financial goes far beyond money. Financial is a way of living. It's a way of thinking. It's a way of seeing the fun in everything that you do every day. whether it's your physical health, your finances, your spirituality, your social life, your mental use, the vocational, your family, the fun that you bring behind all of this. It's a way of thinking, a way of living. It's living to your goals, living to your higher purpose. And it's, if you don't want a part of it, no problem. You can leave and have your money back. But that's where I want you to feel. There's no risk whatsoever. In case you say, I have a 14-year-old, but they have no interest in money because I just keep giving it to them. Okay, if they don't use it, let us know. But at the same time, I think if you start using this, even you as an adult, you'll have already made your fees back we'll have made it back long before the 60 days. It would be, I think it will be highly unlikely of you to say, yeah, look, it's okay. Please cut off the remaining 10 income streams that you're about to teach me about, right? Because it is incredibly powerful for anybody that uses it. But again, it's aimed at kids and teens, but don't get distracted or maybe confused at the level of the power of the training just because it's created in animation form, right? So, you know, as you see with all the Disney and Pixar movies, you can watch it at all ages because there's stories in there that are related to all ages. And again, it's the same link, guys, but the coupon codes, I can see a few of you are asking, can I go over the coupon codes again, just to explain it that GF1 isn't working? Okay, I can check that. I'll explain exactly why that is in just a moment. I know exactly why that is, so we'll explain it, okay? The link is still the same. Yes, bit.ly/groove-ff. Paul, no, don't type that into Google. No, don't Google it. Just put it in at the top of your URL bar. Just put it in there, HTTP or HTTPS, bit.ly. It's an L, not a 1. ly/groove-ff. Then remember the coupon code GF1. Because when we go in, let me show you. So one more time, the ambassador program is chosen for you by default. Okay, it's chosen for you by default there. It's going to ask you, do you have a coupon code? Kind of hidden a little bit there, but you go, that's where you click on right there, okay, where it says have a coupon code. Okay, and that's it up on the top left here, have a coupon code. You're going to type in GF1. Now note on the right hand side that the financial ambassador program is ticked. So the only way it may not be working for you is if you're typing in GF1 and you've chosen fundamentals, or if you're trying to choose GF2 and you've chosen ambassadors. But what you guys will be going for is ambassadors chosen by default, GF1, press apply, and the discount then kicks in. It will drop from $2,997. It will drop from $2,997 to your $997, one-time payment. And again, the reason why mine shows us higher here in this example is because I'm in the EU right now, so I get charged the VAT on top of that. But congratulations to all of you coming in. I'm so excited for you. You'll be able to log in and start using this right away. Let me see, Joe sent. Joe said he's getting contacted over text messages and over the phone and even over Skype with parents saying, oh my God, this is incredible, right? Thank you, Joe, right? I'm not surprised, right? Because when parents see this, it's like the biggest relief. It's like this thing that's just constantly pushed aside, and I don't want to think about it because it's just, there's no solution inside. All that ends. And for you as a marketer, it's like, even if you're not a parent, maybe you're a 21-year-old, maybe you're 22, maybe you're 18, but you're super keen in learning this and loving this, or 16 years of age. Now you've got this product that you can just 100% get behind. And as I say, we will make different kind of level funnels available, like free plus shipping, book funnels, trial, $1 trials, $7 trials, different things that we'll speak to the ambassadors about to introduce people in at a lower rate, okay? Because again, most people haven't watched webinars before and they haven't suddenly been asked for an investment of a few $100s. So there's, of course, for the mainstream, we have different ways of helping you to introduce them to this training in a softer way. And then it doesn't matter, you get 50% upsell across the board on any of the commissions. So again, thank you, by the way, for all the amazing comments. Like the comments from you guys this evening are incredibly inspiring. I really want to congratulate you for being here on a Friday. I know many of you are probably now watching this as a recording. Because we're going to send out a recording, because there was a glitch definitely there just as I was speaking through the offer. I could see it. But we're going to keep these codes open for you. So if you're watching this recording right now, just you know, if the GF1 doesn't work with the ambassador, it's expired, I'm afraid. The coupon has expired. So there is a time limit on it. 100% there's a time limit on it. So if you type in GF1 and it's expired, it's gone, right? It won't discount. It doesn't matter how many times you try it. The only thing, just make sure you double check that it is the case that you have chosen the ambassador program on the right hand side, right, green circle with a white tick there, GF1 and apply. And if it is that you need to go for fundamentals, or you'd like to do fundamentals now and maybe upgrade potentially later, and just like almost see it as a payment plan, just you choose this the option underneath for fundamentals and put in your code GF2. Okay, so GF2 for fundamentals, but GF1 I know is the one that you guys are using right now for ambassador. So congratulations to all of our ambassadors that are joining right now. Again, huge congrats. I'm not going to keep going through all your names, but really appreciate it. So let's see. You've got your buy now bonuses. Someone's asking, can you reiterate? Yes, the buy now bonuses are this. It is for teenagers, yes, older teenagers. We are creating a separate training, completely separate to this, that you are getting bonused, right? It's $3,497 that it will be, because when we sell and buy this, we have to pay the people presenting, we have to get paid to get all the content created, we're getting all the studios rented out, we have everything recorded now, but we're going through all the edits and getting it uploaded and all that kind of stuff. It's a very expensive training that we're getting organized here from our side. But you know what, it's going to be so worth it for when you see the end product. So this is going to be included completely separate. As an ambassador, you'll be able to promote this separately down the road. It'll be an individual product, and we're just saying, no, have it today. It's free, it's included lifetime access to your 12 modules for the teens, all yours included also. I'm not sure actually if it's 6 or 12 modules, but it'll be 12 different income streams, if you know what I mean. Also, you're going to be getting the live training, the live ambassador training with Chris and sometimes myself as well, showing you, walking you through step by step. Chris, again, this is the guy that Mike said exactly 10 years and 1 day ago. They did their own launch together, which is crazy how this is moving around in cycles. We'll be delivering this training monthly to you so you can see what's working, what's happening, share your results, share your successes, share your failures, but it doesn't matter, because for me, a failure is the next step towards success. It's about being part of us helping you live once a month, and you get the recordings of those already done. And once you've got your first 50K in the bag, we will get you set up with an animated character of either you or your child or your team. Okay, so that's 7K worth of value thrown in on top and included. It's all the same link, bit.ly/GrooveFF. What I want to do is share with you now what this looks like as soon as you guys are logging in, so that you can see what the membership site looks like. Most of you now will have already seen it because you should be in already. Okay, so let me know with a quick yes if you can see this. Okay, awesome. Okay, so here we have, this is for your fundamentals up here at the top, and here is your ambassador program when you sign as an ambassador. So you just click on view course for your ambassador program, right? And you just click on the blue button, start course, and off you go. We have your start here. We have it all explained to you. We have the assessment to get you certified, so that can happen right away. You don't have to wait for days. You can get that going right away to get you certified as an ambassador. Then how to become one, how do you get paid, how to promote it, how to log into our tool, which we use as Thrivecart. We may well use move to Groove too, actually, as we move forward here. And you're going to get bonused in the June and July trainings. Now, if we go back a step, though, let's go into what the actual training looks like. So you go in here to view course for financial freedom with the fundamentals, right? And this is what it looks like. You've got your start here. You've got your downloads of all your individual playbooks. You've got Leap Month 1, and these then will be drip fed to you over the coming months, okay? So let's go in here and click on Start here. So these are the videos you can start watching straight away today with your child or teen, right? So you've got video 1 of 5, then we go to next, video 2, video 3. Let's play a little bit here. Now you won't be able to hear this, but just so you can see what's going on here. So they're introducing the whole concept of leap. Okay, so they walk through the process and so on, and then we can move on to video 4. So I'm on horseback in this one, whatever I'm up to for this reason. And so again, it's just giving you a nice introduction to how the whole thing works. Then we get into next, and we do our final video of getting started, and then you are ready to go to get your downloads for your goals, etc. And you're also going to then have access to the individual leap. So you can go into leap month 1, and then how it's presented is you have the message for the parents is the first thing each month, right? Parents video, then we have the learn. You just double click on learn, earn, accelerate, and play. Let's summarize to watch the various trainings. So let's say with learn there, you video 1, the secrets of the rich, video 2, the secrets of the rich continued, video 3, committing to learning, video 4, compounding, video 5, what have we learned, summarize. Then we get into earn, and we go through different earning opportunities. Then we get into accelerate, becoming a master of money. We get into play, etc. Okay, setting your goals, the 8 areas of life, and it's just your child or teen is just going to be at a completely different level to what, you know, whatever they were expecting, whatever, you know, challenges and expectations they were facing. You know, now they can just be so excited about what's coming up for them, and not like, oh, when you grow up X. They can get going right away, start really making meaningful differences in their own lives and their families' lives. And as I say, we set the goal for them to pay for their family's vacation, right? That's what we want them to do in the first year. I mean, how empowering is that, right? As a parent, for your 14-year-old bringing you on holidays and paying for your trip to Disney or wherever it is you're going to go. So it's completely shifting their mindset, right? And in a world, as we keep saying, where children and teens and even young adults are constantly being challenged, you know, with mental illness right now and just mental challenges. And because, as I said, you know, we're being so exposed to this, the media and toxic projections of other people's values onto materialism, etc., and all these things that our children and teens think, well, this must be just how life is, and these, you know, imagery and well, that's used on Instagram, etc., where, you know, you're comparing your life to this fantasy that doesn't exist. Suddenly they can change all that focus to come from within. We want this to be the mind valley for children and teens. So we're starting you off with the money side. We eventually will expand this beyond this into helping in all areas, health and fitness and mindfulness and all these areas. But, you know, this is the money one. This is going to be the core one that we get started with. And, you know, but we want it to be the go-to place for teens, that this is the place that they can go get help and just literally start to focus on themselves and becoming aware of how to become their authentic, true selves and offer the best they can be to those around them. And I mean, that's all any of us can ever hope to be, is to be as authentic as we truly can be. And we're going to help you, your children, your teens, and you as an ambassador will be helping spread this word across the globe. Every one of you probably knows 100 different people right now, so it won't take long before we really can spread the joy, the news, the good that comes with this. And I'm so glad to be part of this. Thank you again, Mike. Thank you, Joe, for getting this organized. It's fantastic that, you know, you've given me this platform to share it with you. Many of you will be watching this for the first time as a recording, because I know in terms of the numbers. And by the way, congrats. I don't know, like every single person almost on tonight has got in, because it just they keep coming up, they keep registering, but it's ridiculous. But thank you. I know it's a no-brainer. And as I say, you have a 60-day money-back guarantee around it. So there's literally no risk to this, none whatsoever. Right? So whatever you got to do to get in, make sure you do. The link is there on the top, bit.ly/GrooveFF. If you're watching the recording and you have a challenge on the coupons, just move back a little bit if possible to see how to do that. You know, I think I've demonstrated enough times that you've probably got that figured out. But thank you so much. Whenever you're watching or whenever you're listening to this, the GF1 and GF2 coupon codes are going to expire. It's only for Groove people. So use them straight away. Get in, get on board, use it. You're going to love it. Your children and teens will be eternally grateful for you. your parents, your siblings, if you're an adult, your neighbors, anybody that you introduce this to, their children are going to be so excited for you. We've already got one of the school of the International School of Monaco, the school of where the wealthiest children in the world are. They've approached us. We haven't said anything we haven't reached out to schools, and they've approached us to say, how do we get involved? How do we get this to our students? And I was smiling when that happened, because it's like, well, what a surprise. It's wealthy people always know and hear of the best ideas and at the start, right? Because, you know, those that appreciate money, that's where the money moves towards. So, you know what, we're not going to wait for the educational systems to change. We're going to start it. You're going to start it, right? We can do it from home, every single one of us. We all have a part to play if you wish. I'm so excited for you to be involved in it. Thank you so much for being here. There's a good few questions that I've missed about the free gifts. Joe and his team will get the playbook emailed out to you as a free gift, as a thank you for being here live today. That's just for the live people that are on. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for being here and listening to what I have to say. Chris and I are eternally grateful. All of our team at Financial are so excited. We're in this, you know, vast, quick growing mode right now, because we're looking to support so many people all over the world. So we're so excited to have you part of our team, and really delighted to share our journey with you and your excitement and journey in using the Groove tools as you move forward. Complete win-win for everybody. As I say, I've never seen a product that nobody can question the validity, that nobody can say, oh, I can't afford it. It's like, well, really? You can't afford it? You can't afford your child to learn how to never have to go to college, never have to worry about money for their lives? I mean, it's your duty as a parent to afford that. That's what we're here on the planet to do as a parent, to make our children and teens have a better lifestyle than we did. It's kind of built into our DNA. So no parent that even thinks about this for a moment will actually say that. They're just going to say, right, I got to set something else aside and let's do this, because this is the opportunity of a lifetime. By the way, if you buy it, it's just for your entire family. You don't have to buy them for individual siblings. Your entire family can use it with the login details. Thank you again so much, everybody. Take care. Have a wonderful day. And I look forward to seeing you on our live trainings very, very soon. Take care. Talk to you soon. And again, huge thank you for all of the beautiful comments. And we'll see you soon.